I want you to sit near the front just so you're accessible. You can sit right over there. That's fine. Tyler? Yeah, we want everyone to sit in front just so it's easy for them to get up and move. Whee! Jenny! Hey, Janice. How are you? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Hey, Chief? Chief, we would prefer, we need you guys to sit in the front. Okay, we'll sit right there in the middle. Okay. I prefer to have you guys sit in the front. It's just easier for you to stand up. Thank you. Yeah, sit right there. Aloha, everybody. Aloha. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We truly appreciate it. It's a very special board meeting. So I call the meeting to order 30 seconds early, sorry. Board members, tonight we had an agenda, but we had a very special request from the mayor and his team to come tonight and talk about what's recently happened in our community. And we're thankful that he's here with his team. So board members, if there is no objection, I would like to toss out the current agenda and make it so we can be here and listen, share our mana'o with them tonight and have them respond to our comments and questions. We really appreciate it. But before we do that, Tyler, where are you, Tyler? There he is.
All right, thank you for the privilege of, I'm going to open in prayer for the meeting tonight. So would you bow your heads? Lord, we just acknowledge that you're all powerful and you know the circumstances, you know the emotions, you know the hurt, the anger, the frustration, the questions. And we just invite your spirit, Lord. Would you bring your peace? Would you bring organization? Would you bring patience, understanding? May this meeting be about people and how we need each other. I may remember that, man, in these hard times, it is just so awesome to see people come together and to love one another. And may we remember that that would be the root, Lord, that we would meet and discuss to move forward. And would we be reminded that you created us for each other and how we can love and to come alongside. And so would your spirit be here in the conversations, in the discussions, even in the arguments, Lord? Would there be truth? Would there be authenticity? Would there be love? And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Mahalo, everybody. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Rick Blangiardi, and he will take the meeting from this point. This is still an official neighborhood board meeting. We are recording it, so we will have it available up on the Neighborhood Commission website. Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Kathleen, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and aloha. I wish we were meeting under different circumstances, but the reality is what it is, and that's why we're here tonight. I can promise you that we came here tonight to listen, perhaps more than to speak, because we really want to know what it is you need. But we also have stuff that we want to share with you, and I'm surprised by the members of our team that have come out tonight, and I'm grateful for that, because every one of them that's here is working in this situation with some really in-depth knowledge that we'd be happy to share with you, okay? Now look, I know emotions are raw. This is my second time out here. We were out here Saturday for a few hours. Today, Joey Cadiz took me around an ATF and saw a lot of stuff. And I know it's extremely difficult. It's hard to imagine that's even happened. And I'm also a little bit concerned because the last time I ever heard somebody give a poulet, it brought up arguments. I thought, okay, I guess we're in for it. But I'm glad somebody's praying for us. Look, let me just give you a little chronology real quick. About 3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit less than that, we got wind of that system, the Kona low. It was coming. And we spent the first 4 or 5 days before we went public with the storm, cleaning out streams, trying to prepare as much ahead of time as we could. And 2 weeks ago tonight, we went on television ahead of schedule, warning people about what was going to happen, alerting the public, trying to educate as best we could, and it got the word out there. And then 48 hours later, on that Thursday night, and even though the storm at that point was starting, it was unpredictable. It was already showing early signs that it was going to be a very different weather system. And one of the things that I said in those conferences is I spent 40 plus years in media. Maybe you know that, maybe you don't. I looked at a lot of radar screens in my time and a lot of newsrooms at impending disasters. And I went on record of saying I've never seen a system like this before, and it was really scary. And but we really weren't quite sure. So that Thursday night we went on TV. We told everybody, even though it just started, even some of the media was there, and they were actually challenging us, saying, "Well, it doesn't seem to be so bad." And we weren't trying to hype anybody. But then the very next day and through that night and that weekend, it proved to be everything we thought we could deal with. And then before we could even recover from that, almost to our absolute disbelief, there was this discussion about a second Kona low coming. But all the experts were saying, this will be a weaker storm. There won't be as much rain. But we had a heightened concern because there was so much rain initially that we knew the grounds were saturated. Our reservoirs had gotten full. In fact, the Friday night of that very first day, the governor and I were on the phone all night long over the dam situation as to whether or not we were going to evacuate. Unfortunately, we didn't have to because the pumping was working to keep it down below that level. But there were some really harrowing moments. Now the second storm's going to come, and we're concerned about the compound effect. But we knew how much rain it fell. In fact, that first forecast 2 weeks ago tonight, I said we're projecting between 15 and 30 inches of rain, which a lot of people thought was incredulous. They didn't believe that. Truth is now we've had over, in parts of Oahu, more than 50 inches of rain. You can't hear me? I'm sorry. I'll keep it really close to my mouth. For me, it sounds like I'm talking loud. I'm sorry. Is that better? Is that better? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going to start over if that's okay, but just trying to take you through what our experience was, right? Now, so as a result of our anticipation, we went at everything a week ago as aggressively as we could in trying to provide city services and in conjunction with the state. And with the attitude that we're going to deploy everything we can to get through it. So now all of a sudden the second storm is upon us, and it wasn't supposed to be as bad as it ultimately turned out. And then we had a couple of really freakish things happen just recently. The first one was last Thursday night. Last Thursday night, the National Weather Service, in their expertise, and I'm not saying this to point fingers, told us around 8 o'clock at night that we're looking at 2 to 3 inches of rain, which was of concern, over the next 8 to 10 hours. That night, which is what created what you have here, we got 10 inches of rain in 3 hours. 10 inches of rain in 3 hours, which was a phenomenal, was a rain bomb. That's the same thing that happened in Manoa yesterday. It came down in only an hour, and we were there today earlier. It created, really, if you saw the video on TV, it was incredible how fast the stream flooded and the damage it did, but it was really contained. There is no question. We were in Waianae, Nanakui today. There's no question the greatest damage has been out here, the North Shore, and out to Laie. And on Saturday afternoon, I had the benefit of going up in the fire department's helicopter and flying over the whole area, as well as seeing the ground level. But when you see it from the air up close, we're only flying at 300 feet. you can see how devastating the storm has been and how pervasive. So I'm looking at this as a really extreme situation. And I've heard in some of the national newscasts it was the worst storm in 20 years. I don't have that context. I talked to a number of people around my age, and some of you are around my age in this audience tonight who live here in White Lewis Saturday, who told me it was the worst they've ever seen in their whole lives. And I remember the hurricanes of 82 and 92. And while I didn't have the same vantage point then and who I was in my life that I have today, those were terrible storms. But this is as devastating as anything that could have possibly happened to us. So it's with that sense of reality, with that sense of challenge, that we're approaching where we are tonight on a going forward basis. And everything we've tried to do since when I thought the rain subsided, yesterday blew us away. Because it wasn't just in Manoa, it was in Nuuanu, and fortunately, and this is true also, our primary responsibility and primary priority has been to make sure we protected people's lives. And the fact that we had no fatalities in this event, and the fact that our first responders did 233 rescues, a number of them here, that were very brave. I'm talking about people who were in dangerous situations who could have died. That kind of, we talk about a rescue, it's at that level. So, Joe, thank you. No, to them, yes, right. Untrained first responders. With them. Well, I'm not sure if that's a compliment or you're being sarcastic. I don't know. Oh, yes, I was going to get to that. Yes, absolutely. I was just going to say that. Thank you. Many of that happened as a result of the incredible love, being out here all day today and seeing it firsthand with people covered in mud and running and helping each other, almost breathless. A lot of those rescues happen as a result of the community and people helping people. So it's been a really powerful emotional experience for all of us, because whenever you've gone through anything like that, no matter whether you're the recipient or you're doing that for somebody, this is bringing out the very best in people. And I realize it's taking people to an emotional level and a physical level of exhaustion. So we're here tonight to really share with you some of the things we're trying to do. Want to hear from you what you really need. Got guys up here taking serious notes. And we want to help. Okay? I pray to God the worst is behind us. You know, and that we go forward from here. There's a lot to be learned. I'm not claiming that we're perfect. I can promise you this: we are using every city resource in conjunction with the state and all of their resources. And I know if you've been here and if you've been down there, you've seen unprecedented trucks, excavators, and from the private community too. We were at Goodale tonight, and the backhoes and the other stuff I saw was all from private guys, locally. Impressive, great. We brought in the National Guard, and I haven't seen what they've done yet, but 200 soldiers reported today. They're going to be here. They did nothing today. We're going to fight. You know, I heard that today. I can promise you by tomorrow, there'll be very different conversations. That's why we're here. We heard that. No, they just got here today. We know you're 4 days into it. I'm telling you in the spirit of trying to put all of the resources we have going, feeling that maybe it's not enough between the state and the city, given how expansive the storm has been. We have done that. We also flew in for the first time ever a team of mainland experts on debris separation to try to help us with this and all the trash. Excuse me? I didn't have what? Debris plan. We didn't have a debris plan, you're right. We didn't have a debris plan that would call for the kind of trash and flood damage that we saw, but we've quickly developed one. You know, we lost H power, and the landfill was so saturated with water that we couldn't drive the trucks in there. What would you do? So I'll tell you what we did do, okay? No, it's not your fault. No. All right, look. I'm telling you right now, let's just keep this calm. You can say we didn't have a plan. I know you did. I asked you what you would. Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, excuse me. I think what you guys are saying are perfect. However, Mr. Mayor, you're not here to defend it. You're just here to listen to us.
To listen, that's right.
So
No,
just
that was
listen,
a
don't
rhetorical
argue.
question. I don't want to argue. I don't want to argue with you. I understand. I, look, we're trying to respond to this system as fast as we can. And that's what I'm trying to convey to you. When I asked the question, what would you do? If you can't get into the landfill and H power is down, you got no place to take the trash that we typically take on Oahu. But we had no temporary sites because the Department of Health and all the rules. I had to sign an emergency proclamation, and now we're taking everything up to Central Oahu Regional Park and over landfill in the side field. We had to adjust to that. We didn't have that resource. We just didn't have that kind of alternative plan for this kind of damage. I admit that. But we've tried to react and respond as aggressively and as smartly as we could. That's all I'm saying. We didn't have that. There was no plan for that. But we have one now. And that's why we're trying to bring in this extra help to help expedite getting all the trash out of neighborhoods. I don't know how challenging it's going to be about the mud. I saw mud today in people's homes and outside of people's homes. It's really hard to even look at. That's going to be a huge challenge going forward. But we're trying to get the trash out of here. I think by tomorrow, that whole pile of Goodale will be gone. I know Sunday was as high as the telephone poles. Well, if it fills up, we have places to take it. It won't fill up. We have places now to take it. That's what we've gotten done over the last 48 hours. Okay? So I understand that. I appreciate your anger. I really do. And like I said, I'm here tonight to hear what it is you need and what you want. At the same time, try to explain to you as best as possible and maybe reassure you that in an unprecedented way, we're throwing everything at this we possibly can. The focus and the priority happens to be, it's an island-wide event, but I can tell you it's really concentrated here. And you'll see that manifest each day. I know it's been 4 days, but we're getting better by the day. It's a lot better today than it was 3 days ago. What I saw Saturday to today was improvement, but I also saw some really tough stuff. Okay? So we're talking to the federal government, FEMA, Homeland Security. Governor's not here tonight with me. We've talked to all of our principals. We're going to try to get as much money as we possibly can. You know, we're going to figure out how we dole that out, what we spend it, how we do all of that stuff. This is very much a work in progress, but we're going to take care of our people first. And this, I'm going to say it for the third or fourth time, this area out here for us is very important. That's why we're here tonight. Okay. So, as much as I want to hear from you, maybe we should just start with the questions now, and we'll answer those. But I also want us to maybe have a couple of people come up here tonight and give you some insight to what we're working on, and I'll introduce who they are when they come up. But I think we have some good news to share with you tonight as far as our being resourceful and trying to cope with this. And I think we want to be as reassuring as we can be in an after the fact mode. But make no mistake about this. I stand before you as somebody who's lived here for almost 61 years, turning 80 this year. With all the sincerity I can possibly tell you how much we hurt for you folks and how much we want to help. So I can appreciate the anger, but that's not where we're coming from. We want to help. We want to get through this. We want to be who you need us to be in this situation. I can't look back on this. I can only look forward. Can't do anything about what's just gone on. We just improve from here. You have to buy into that. That's the resiliency and the resolve we're counting on. But we're going to help you. You're not in this alone. Yeah.
I get one thing said.
Yeah, good, good, Levi.
And we have an apology. Can I just have an apology?
Levi, go ahead.
Can I just have an apology from all of the law enforcement and everybody here sitting in just on one man at a time? Just one man at a time, apology, police, fire department, PA, you, just one man at a time, please, like just.
Levi, what do you want us to apologize for? Apologize for what?
Just not what for. Just an apologize, please. I want one man at a time, police,
You
this
know,
guy, and I want everybody just to apologize to community for failing.
I don't agree with your feeling. Levi, I didn't bring my people out here to apologize for failure. Yeah, these people have been working around the clock behind me too.
It'll be good just to hear sorry from everybody.
I think it's a good ground to
Good.
start at. Like,
Just to start.
everybody wants to move forward, but
Levi, I just met you a couple of hours ago. I know you've done incredible work, but I'm not asking anybody on my team to apologize because you don't know the work that's been going on for the last 4 days.
the work that took
No, we do. We do.
on Thursday till 5 a.m. on Friday.
So,
We know that.
I just, can I explain myself? Can I explain myself?
Good.
So that way everybody knows, like even the HFD, police, and everybody. I want them to know, I want the police to know. There was never one road closure. HFD passed me and told people to stay on the roof till the morning. Right? Police, the police cars were stuck in the water. The car was going off all night. Not one road
I
closure.
just want to stop you 1 second. So what do you guys think led up to this disaster?
No, it's not even that. Just
Is it the mismanagement of our waterways that led to this? You guys don't think so? You don't think that you guys don't think that our river mouths have so much sediment caked in due to Dole and all these big landowners selling off the land, and the sediment is, now that the vegetation is not there, the topsoil is washing into our rivers and caking our reefs. And so that means if you look at all our rivers that are on the bridges, they are not as wide as the bridges should be.
Hey, you're welcome, Zaz. Yeah.
Everybody pulled out. I was going in. So that's how come I'm asking this. You don't understand it because you never seen the videos or you wasn't there. So I just want you to listen to me from what I saw all night.
Yeah.
I pulled kids out of cars endlessly. I pulled people off houses endlessly. I'm just telling the truth.
I believe
This
you.
is what I saw.
I believe you.
And everything I'm saying is the truth. I'm not lying.
Levi, I believe you.
I'm not asking to fight with anybody. I'm just, that way the community knows that everybody respects what happened. So it's just, that way everybody respects you. But we're gonna have a respect point for everybody. So at this point, I want everybody to respect everybody. So if you want respect from the people, how's about everybody sitting here, give respect to the people and just say, I'm sorry. You know?
That's-
Also, one time
But,
to change that.
I have something to say, okay?
How about that?
Hey,
We
I'm
change the
I'm
narrative.
interim chief Vanek, Honolulu Police Department, and I have something to say. I know I don't know what you guys are going through. I don't live in this community, but one thing I can see is your community is strong, very, very strong, and our officers are here to support that. One thing that isn't being told is our officers are also from this community. We have officers who live in this community who have been affected as well. The story that isn't being told is those officers whose houses were flooded, whose cars were completely damaged. Guess what? They're coming to work too, still yet. They helped individuals whose houses were literally crumbling to help pull kids out, to help pull people out of those houses, putting their lives on the line, not because they had to, because they wanted to. I do understand that, hey, you guys went through a lot. And yes, maybe we could have or should have done more. But I'm telling you right now, we are here and committed to help you guys out. We are here to make sure that we're going to put our lives on the line to do what is needed so that we can make sure that this community recovers. I'm telling you that right now. Because this is a strong community and we want to stand by your side. We are committed to that. I'm telling you right now.
I like them just hum on themselves, you know what I mean?
Aloha, everybody. I know like our agenda just got thrown away. And I know that there's lots of angry people in this room for things that were done, were not done. I think if we want this meeting to move forward, maybe we should go with what was the problem? Do we have a solution? Or do we have solutions to offer? So this Auntie right here, she said the problem was our streams were clogged. Do we have a solution for that? Is there a plan? I mean, that's just number one. I'm sure we have 100.
Dredging still happen.
Hey, Kalamai, real quick, sis, thank you for your opinion. So the reason that we keep putting the mics to the speaker is because we've got that camera there. This is supposed to be a neighborhood board meeting, and these videos, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kathleen, by the way, I'm TJ, I'm the vice chair of the Wahiawa Whitmore Village Neighborhood Board. I'm from this INA. So when we tell you to talk on the mic, it's because we want everybody out there. This is going to be it is going to be saved for forever. So if somebody is not taking notes quickly enough, or somebody is not hearing something quickly enough, if you take the mic, we can record it, and maybe they can go back tomorrow, tonight, or whenever and get what everybody is saying. So not to be disrespectful or take too much of your time, but please come, use the microphone so we can hear you. And don't be ashamed. You guys out there yelling, whatever, you yell at your kids, you yell at your coworkers, come out here and speak on the microphone so we can listen. Mahalo.
TJ, it's Stacy from Cellos, and you have helped out me in so many ways. But our biggest thing is that we have a community that's been so great, and we're so gracious. You guys, everybody, we're grateful. And we don't know what we need, and people are like, how can you help? And we don't know. But all I know is that we have to figure out why this happened. And the only thing I can think of is that 7 years ago, I bought the house across the street from my best friend. And it was a community on Haona Street that is all original owners. They're the best of the best, original plantation people. And they said, you do not need flood insurance. It's never flooded here. And I fought my flood insurance policy and my mortgage policy, and I fought it, and they made me have it. So I am covered. But everybody that is original owners, they don't have insurance. They're tenants, they're people, they are in complete devastation. And as much as I lost everything, I just want to know, is this going to happen again? Because I feel like as we develop more up the hill, we lose more vegetation. This is going to continue to happen, because how come it hasn't happened? And when Miss Yamamoto, Miss Janet, if any of you guys know Yamamoto, she is my original owner, and I bought it from her from 6 years ago. And she said it's never happened before. So I mean, I know not.
I have no ability to predict the future. I don't, you know.
I'm not saying that the city of Konya is held responsible, but like, do you think we need to think about how we're gonna parcel this land up here, and the gondola and this and that and all these things we're thinking about doing, and we're just getting
Right.
We're in a place that lost everything. I lost everything. And my best friend lost everything. And my neighbor lost everything.
Well, for that, I'm very sorry. I know that. All right, Joey, you want? I do want to emphasize in the short term tonight, before we leave here, we want to know the things you need. We want to get those down. We want to try to provide those.
Thank you for bringing up flood insurance. Is there going to be a high premium on future flood policies? Will it be harder for Waialua and Haleiwa residents to get flood policies?
I have no ability to answer.
Is
them.
there a agenda item for you to look into that?
Sure.
And
That's what we said. We're listening to that. It's a legitimate
policies
question.
and premiums on
Sure.
flood.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, when Levi was up here, I think what his message that he's trying to get across is we feel like we were failed to a certain extent with the reactivity of the city in that capacity. We were the ones that were going on the track loaders into people's homes and taking them off the roofs and all of that kind of stuff. And the things that we were doing, this isn't stuff that you get trained for, even for me as a lifeguard with ocean safety, swift water rescues, all these kinds of things. These are things that we were doing in the moment that needed to be done without question. And that's where he wants that apology coming from, in that I know there's systems in place for how we operate in each different department, but it's starting from that apology of recognizing that we weren't able to react in that capacity from the city standpoint in the moment. That's just the apology that I think he's asking for. And I that's on you if you want to do it. I'm not asking you to do it, but I just want to give a little bit more context to where we're at and how we're going to approach the rest of this conversation in a meaningful way. But I appreciate your time, and I just wanted to bring that up.
You know what? I think the thing is that, I'm sorry, because I think what these guys just need some recognition and like a really big aloha. I mean, because you guys couldn't, a huge thank you, I think more, because so many people would have died if it wasn't for the residents and all the guys with the backhoes, and the guys was coming down from Wahiwa with backhoes to help. I mean, it was days and days of citizens saving each other's lives. And you guys could not, not blaming at all, but I think they just need like a huge recognition and a big aloha mahalo to these guys that saved everybody's lives.
Shout out to the people. Shout out to the people for putting the unity in the community. Like seeing everyone come together over this has been such a beautiful thing in this disaster. But literally, it's the people that have been putting the unity in the community. And, not to cut off or get in, I know you like say something, but I just want to say, like, for weeks now, I've been reaching out to different departments, city, state, DOT, DTS, trying to get river streams cleaned, ditches cleared, as well as river mouths. And so for weeks, I've been getting pointing the finger. I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody, but I've been getting the fingers pointed out. Oh, this person, that person, email them, call them. So I got over that. So I arranged a meeting that was actually supposed to happen on Saturday at 2 p.m. at St. Michael's with private landowners, farmers, as well as a lot of our representatives, senators, council members from our team, as well as DFM and all these other DLNR, FSA, and so forth, so we could get to the bottom of this, because I was really over getting the runaround and the finger pointed to it's this person, that person. Because in my heart, I felt like something was coming. And it's unfortunate that it did, because then this meeting was planned for almost like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then this big storm came, and then the meeting got canceled because of safety and hazards and whatnot. And that's totally understandable. But everyone in those head departments still needs to get together and sit in the same room so no one's pointing the finger at each other. Because at the end of the day, mismanagement of our waterways has led to this, 100%. Like, if we go back to all like the Konohiki systems and whatnot, everything was so better maintained. You know what I mean? Like everything, there was a system there, that's why. But there's no system now. And like Dole, like we said, is doing massive land sell-off. And like, look at my shirt. They went sell $2,500 to a gondola boy. 2,500 acres to gondola boy. He's Canadian. He owns 90% of all the ski resorts in America. His daddy started Whistler. So now we have outside people buying into our Aina, saying that they can farm, but he not farming, he trying to build one gondola. So then we've been fighting, you guys all know, we've been fighting DPP for the longest time, trying just to get our voices heard. Why is he getting a, what is it, a SMA? Sorry, DPP's on our side. We've been fighting to get heard to stop this project. DPP's been great. It's actually, this new department's really great. So shout out to them. But they heard us. And so, you know, hopefully they revoke the permits, because honestly, after talking to people and following the VI, which I have been doing, and, you know, going to the archives and researching old maps from like whatnot, you know. Oh, anyways, I'm wrapping it up. What I'm trying to say is we need to get everyone in the same room, and to prevent another disaster from happening, we got to dredge the river mouths. We got to get the rivers and the streams cleared, as well as the ditches, because there's about 24 ditches between Waialua High School to Dillingham Ranch that all have one outlet, and that one outlet is Kukea Circle, Keopoko, and that's why everyone's houses got flooded, because there is the river mouth wasn't dredged or opened up until Thursday at 6 a.m. And I've been calling for weeks for get that done, and that's just really unfortunate that it led up to this. On top of that, I got some pictures that someone just sent me. They were doing aerial footage, and they found, if not 11 landslides on Gondola Boys land, because, and if you guys go fly your airplane, you were in just a helicopter. So I don't know if anyone flew the stream, but basically from the pictures that it show, I'm more than happy to share with you where the red barn is and the tan barn is, and that illegal home is where they do the weddings out of, that I'm pretty sure is unpermitted. So that's where all the landslides is, because they're not farming and there's no vegetation.
Right.
On top of the fire that was there that we had, like, you know, August 17th, 2020, there's no vegetation there. So that's why the landslide wouldn't go there. So when the Dole would open up the dam, it would build. And that's why all this sediment stay here, is because the landslide. So I just like.
Thank you, Zaz. That was awesome. Hi guys, I'm Jemar. Thank you for also being somebody that actually talks more than I do on the North Shore. That's amazing. I love that. I love that for you. I love it. So Mayor, I think what you don't really need, what you not quite understanding where this is coming from, as far as our vibe is like, it may seem, and I'm sure that all of you folks were working in whatever capacity it is that you were working towards this. But we as a community, my son-in-law got off work in town at Pasha, got in his truck, went up and picked up a front loader, him and his friends, all the boys that Levi and Noah Boy and a bunch of other of our community members got on their machines, came down here, and were live and visible. And this is what we saw as a community. We saw our people coming in and rescuing ourselves, saving ourselves. My son-in-law, his son could have died. My daughter could have died on those things out there in that rushing water. This is our concern. And then you guys are saying, well, I understand. That's great. Whatever you guys were doing, I'm sure you were doing something. But we did not physically see that response here in our first couple of days here. We pulled ourselves up by our dirty, muddy bootstraps, slippers, tobbies, okay, barefooted kids, parents, everybody out there. Everybody, like you said, bring in their own machines. We didn't see any uniforms. We didn't see officers directing traffic. Yes. We didn't see any uniforms. We didn't see any city and county stickers. We didn't see any National Guards. That's 4 days. If we had sat around and waited for this response to happen 4 days later, people would have been dead and everybody would have been underwater. Okay, so that is where we're coming from, the community, where we need to, maybe you don't need to apologize to these guys, but I think they definitely need to be officially thanked, officially recognized, okay, for saving the people they did. Also, I think you need to understand that you guys are coming in now. We've already got a whole community of things that are going on. The last thing that is going to help our relationship between the community and you folks is if it's going to come in like a takeover, and it's going to be like, we're doing this, we're doing that, you're doing that, you're going to go here, you're going to go there, you need to let us continue in the vein that we are doing and work with us, work with the community, support us where we need. And I feel like we will be able to get a little bit of the animosity down. And these guys do need the help. These guys need gas. I mean, people are bringing down gas, private companies. They need diesel for their machines. You know, they need gas for their trucks. They need help, people that are going to help them and work with them, not against them or what they're not doing. The other thing I'd like to bring up, again, I talk a lot. I have friends from Kauai. They said mosquito mitigation was a big, major problem over there. A lot of people got sick. We need to figure out what's going on with that. where you guys are dumping this trash. What is that doing? There's all that Freon from all those freezers and all that kind of stuff. What she was talking about with Dole. Why can't we force their hand? You know, if you build a vacation rental on your property or you're doing something illegal, you get fined, you get put in trouble. Why isn't Dole being fined? Why aren't they being required to come back down and put this money back in the community? Why are they not being held responsible for all of this damage that is being happened to all this land up here and all this agricultural runoff? It's agricultural runoff, and it's from what they did back in the day, and they need to come correct with the community for that. And it's you guys' job to make sure that they do that. So thank you, Mayor, and I hope that you do that.
Yeah, I just gotta get this over with. So, Zaz, it's my turn. Okay.
Outside can hear.
Oh, I'll turn it up, all right. You better stand by that door. So, okay, so, not on.
Okay.
It's on. Okay, so 1,000%, we're all pissed off. 100%. Things weren't done right. Okay. But I'd like to see something come out of tonight. A goal, a collaboration that doesn't put us here again. %. And God help me, Levi, Wyatt, Kelsey, Brandon, Noah, Leaf, all those guys saved lives that night. Lives. Because nobody was deployed. And I think that's where the gap is. I think we need to collaboratively work together to come up with a more efficient plan that says, hey, 2 hours, steady rain, deploy some guys. Deploy whoever, HFD, and I'm gonna give props to HFD because I watched those guys save one farmer behind me walking like, I don't know, half a mile or something, because I wasn't gonna do it. Chest water up to the chest. And they went all the way in the back and saved this guy and his wife because they couldn't bring the truck in. So there are good things that happen within the services, but we need more and quicker, right? It's the speed that we're talking about, right? The collaboration of coming up with a plan needs to be done with the communities. And I'm not even talking about just North Shore, but there's communities all over. The Windward Side, Manoa, Laie, Kahuku, the guys that are isolated. They all should have a collaborative plan with the city. Have a seat at the table with the city. Some community leaders come in and say, this is what happened. This is what we need to do. You saw how these guys rallied. Those are resources that can be used. It was really hard as someone who's involved in the community to make calls because people trusted to call me to make that call, and I couldn't get anything. I got, be patient. That's what I got. Be patient while I'm watching my nephew save somebody off of a loader. Watching my kids jump in chest water to save their dog. That shouldn't happen. Now, am I saying, do we have enough resources to service every single person? No, but you have a community that supports your service. And I think there's an effective way to make a plan to make that work for all of us. We are well known on the North Shore, surfing capital of the world, all the things, right? But we're limited resources, limited infrastructure. I don't believe Dole needs to be fined for these things. You know who needs to be fined? The developer that sold plenty of you guys inside here, these fake ag lots. Ditches buried. Ditches buried. Now, do I think these ditches was going to help? No, because it had plenty water. Plenty water. We've never seen that kind of water. But I think we would have had a fighting chance. Water's diverted because illegal structures go up and the waterway now gets split. Those are the problems that we need to collaborate. We know our community. We have the answers to that. We need to help give it to you guys so you understand. Looking at paper is okay, but this
lives in that paper. And we're the ones that can provide that information. People who lost homes in Otaki camp specifically are now displaced and are thrown into a rental market they ain't gonna attain. Paying $500 a month for your 3-bedroom house ain't gonna happen now. So how do we find a way, and this is a question for you guys too, how do we find a way to help ensure that they get a place? Get plenty vacant houses in this town, lots. The owners don't live here. Let's reach out to them. Give them an incentive to sponsor a family for 6 to 12 months, and you credit their property tax or something. We pay the highest property tax in the island with the least amount of resources. 1 ambulance, 3 cops, no more hospital, pray, I don't know. We just need a faster response. The emergency prompts, like I said, maybe after a couple hours. For me personally, the week prior, there was a lot of hype for that. And we heard, this is gonna be one you're gonna remember. And it was. But nobody told us about the next one. We were already saturated. That should have had the same hype. Hey guys, you're already wet. You're already flooded. It's already documented. Let's buckle down. Those are the things that didn't happen this last round. And yes, everybody's upset, emotions, everything. This is the first time I left my property. I haven't even been able out to help. My property took cracks. I'm not gonna grumble. I'm not, because get plenty guys way worse than me. I'm not grumbling at all. But I'm here to help, and I'm willing. I'm putting myself out there. I'll do whatever I can to support you, as long as you guys can support us and make that collaborative effort to ensure that our kids don't go through this.
That's a seriously hard act to follow, but Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for coming out, but I need to share my manao. Thank you. I got to tell you, I'm in communications. That's my job. And Raquel is right. The first weekend, there were alerts everywhere. I live right over in Kukea Circle. I'm right in the path of the dam. I cannot tell you how stressed I was, how all of these people were stressed because we were getting alerts that made no sense. We get an alert that says the dam is failing. Then we get an alert like, oh no, everything's all good. Don't worry about it, but it may fail. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, but that's not acceptable. We got to do better. We have to do better when it comes to telling our people when we can leave. We had no way to leave. It rained 5 hours heavy. By 8 o'clock that night, the first hour in, we should have been getting alerts saying it's raining. The biggest thing is the weather people kept saying this is unpredictable. What happens when something's unpredictable, folks? Don't we take it more seriously? Because what? An unpredictable horse could hurt you. Unpredictable animals can hurt you. Unpredictable weather hurts all of us. And this is what you're hearing and seeing tonight. So I have a great deal of respect for you, sir, but we failed when it came to the communications of alerting this community and giving them a chance to prepare and get the heck out of here instead of people all literally running for their lives because they had no idea what was going on. The first alert we got was 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:57. I have it on my phone. That's not acceptable. It'd been raining for 5 hours by then. Not acceptable. Thank you, sir, for listening to us. We appreciate it. Next.
My point I'd like to raise is I live on the stream down here. We've flooded 3 times in the last 5 years. And if it wasn't for Derek got me out and the Long Bridge guys, where's Derek and Calais, keeping that Cane Hall Bridge free of debris when 15-foot trees come down the river. And believe me, they came down in the February flood. They turn it sideways. They risk their lives so it goes out to sea, because otherwise when it blocks up there, it floods all of us up this stream, which is a giant river. It's floods so fast. And I'm so tired of it. I mean, 3 times we've got it in our houses and stuff and had to clear out the mud and have a $600 water bill because we're and so that's one thing. But the other thing is the other night, Thursday night, I am so thankful to the Lord that my 20-year-old grandson's a typical teenager and got home at 12:30 at night and ran in the house and said, Grandma, get up right now, move your cars. Our yard is flooding. And, we have a construction site. We have 13 vehicles in our property. I am so thankful that he woke us up because if we had slept the whole night, we would be like so many other people here with dead cars and you can't evacuate. We left my house when the water was this high, we could smell gasoline. And my son-in-law said, we got to get out of here. If this catches on fire, we're dead. We had the river on one side flooding. And it was flooding from Wailua Beach Road, which never happens. I've lived here 60 years. I have never seen this kind of thing. The other times we flood, it's from the river. And so the only way we don't flood from the river is what Derek and his boys are doing, men, and the fact that Rubicon came in and cleared out all the mangroves so that the water has a path to follow. If we don't keep our stream beds cleared, this is going to happen over and over and over again. And I'm honestly begging you, everybody needs to get together because we've had so many meetings where people go, oh, it's not my problem, not my kuleana. Oh, you got to call those guys. You got to call those guys. We don't get anything accomplished. And we're so frustrated. I joined the flood committee team back in 2008 after the flood. We had 2 engineers come out from town. And I was saying, hey, if Lake Wilson breaks, all those people in Otaki camp are dead. And I said, you guys know how many old people are there? Because I was a nurse. I know Dr. Ireland from Polimomi. But I just said, there's so many old people there and they can't like run up the lane. And you know what the engineers told me? Oh, well, if Lake Wilson floods, I kid you not. They said, we will drive down and warn them. I was like, whoa, you can drive faster than floodwaters and you're going to be on standby? Like that made no sense to me. So I know we're frustrated. We're so frustrated because not only the flood and getting out, with your life, and then we get these things, oh, Lake Wilson's going to fail. Oh my God, what does that mean? It's going to break? And there's a 45-foot wall of water going to come down in 20 minutes. We're all dead? Like, why do they say fail? Why can't they say breach? Like that was insane. And my last point is when my grandson came and warned us all and we're trying to get our cars up to the road to safety because we live low, my daughter called 911 and she said, you guys got to go up and down the street and warn people. Like it's flooding so fast. And the 911 operator said, oh, everybody should know, just stay put. We're getting lots of calls about that. So somebody please review what happened, the chain of command that should have gone up and up and up and up to the governor or whoever could have done something immediately. And to see on the news that somebody said, oh, we sounded the alarms at 4 and that was earlier than we normally would, I have to tell you that is a huge insult to our community because more people could have at least saved their vehicles. We can't do anything about the rain. I understand that. That was horrible. But if we had had proper warning, number one, people wouldn't have had to been on the rooftops being saved. And maybe they would also have vehicles that work so they could go to work and get supplies and go get relief things at, the different places that are put up. And I have to thank you all for coming out. I know this was difficult for you because you were knowing you were going to face a firing squad. So I apologize for our anger, but this just comes from the heart. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Barb.
Aloha, Carol Phillips here, and I just wanted to touch on a few points. One is, the communication tree, however it worked, could have been a lot better. I was not with the city, but trying to confirm at one point about the road going around Waimea Bay and whether it was going to be open and stuff. And, the press releases and the statements, even on websites, could be a lot more consistent and a lot more coordinated So, we know, as community, where to go to look. And then there was that problem too, that when you got a text on your phone, you had to click in, and our cellular service and our Wi-Fi and everything went down. We got our electricity cut off, which greatly hampered our community's ability to respond, to this situation. And that was really a real problem for us, because we couldn't communicate. And so the communication system, more transparency, there should definitely be websites that are coordinated by the state and the city that tell us everything. So then we can amplify that message as necessary. But if it's not really clear and really basic, it's going to be hard. The other thing, just as an aside, is I hope all of our property taxes go down, because we are living with 3 billion gallons of water that at any time within, less than 3 hours of rain can come down on our heads. So this is a huge, we need our property taxes to come down. It's completely unfair. I don't care how much. Yeah, it's insane. And people lost everything because of this. And then on one other little note, I see all these fine gentlemen and one lovely Dr. Fox here. And I was hoping maybe you could just really quickly introduce everybody, your team that came out here, because I know you guys drive real far and you got to drive back. And I would just.
Well, Carol, I intended to do that in the beginning, but
Sorry.
things just.
Yes, I understand that. Thank you.
evolved. Okay.
Go ahead, Mayor. Introduce your
Well, I'm gonna let
introduce your
I
team.
want them to introduce themselves, if you don't mind. I'll give them the microphone, each one of them. Erwin, we'll start with you. Okay. We'll speak up and then just gotta hold the.
Hello,
close.
can everybody hear me? Good evening, everybody. My name is Erwin Kawata. I'm the Deputy Manager at the Board of Water Supply.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Lau, Manager for the Board of Water Supply.
Ernie.
I'll just say to the community, I know that Levi asked for an apology. I'll just say, BWS, we can do better and prepare for the next time. This was something that really and the boil water notice. Thank you. So the boil water notice has been lifted up to from Turtle Bay to Pupukea Road. And by tomorrow afternoon, we'll know if we can lift the boil water requirement on this whole community here. So we'll be getting out the word as soon as we get the test results tomorrow afternoon. Mahalo, Ernie at Board of Water Supply.
Aloha, my name is Kurt Lager. I'm the chief of the Ocean Safety Department. I'd just like to commend and say thank you to the community for everything. Your guys' response and helping each other is truly impressive. So thank you for what you guys have done.
Good evening. My name is Brian Gallagher. I'm the deputy at DPP. A lot of the comments that are said tonight about planning, long-term planning, flood control, community, how communities grow. You guys are smart. You guys are dead on. It's a classic issue that happens as small towns turn into larger and larger cities. If you remember a few years ago, you guys remember the Manoa flood? Came through, went through the library, blasted through everything. There was another one in 2019. Huge rain event came through and hit Aina and all their flooded drainways. They all clogged. This is an issue that's going on nationwide. I know these words don't alleviate any of the issues that are going on tonight, but you're not alone. There's a lot of support and the city hears you. It's a classic issue that as cities grow and all the utilities and infrastructure, as they get larger and larger, everywhere across the nation, you can read it up. We're all going through something that's happening, especially as climate change comes through, because these are unprecedented storms and they're revising the rain tables and what's expected. It's just an evolution of the science, where we got, and then now this climate change thing is, we don't know, but we got to do better. So I really appreciate the support and it's not on deaf ears. Trust me. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jim Ireland, the Director of Emergency Medical Services.
Just a couple things in case we run out of time tonight. The Waialua ambulance, I was so proud. It was a brand new ambulance for this community. And we lost it that night in a rescue. And the crew swam to a collapsed house. And we're not trained in rescue. That's our fire department colleagues and ocean safety in the ocean. But they swam to help save a family and children. The crew ended up in the hospital that night. And we think we lost the ambulance, but that's just property. The crew's okay, the family's okay. We have a replacement ambulance. We lost the station. It's not usable. Since Friday, we've had one paramedic SUV here in town intermittently, as well as one or two core ambulance as well to support the community. And we'll continue to do that for the foreseeable future. The other thing is the core team, which is EMTs and nurses and some paramedics, has partnered with JABSOM, the home program, which is the medical students and their faculty, physician faculty, to open a clinic. It was open yesterday. They saw 25 patients. Today, I believe they saw 12. And that will also be open Monday through Saturday for the foreseeable future. It's free care. And, they have medicines. They can rewrite prescriptions. They're seeing people. Today, it was at Ali'i Beach Park. Today it was Ali'i Beach Park. Yesterday, I believe it was at the elementary school. I think maybe here. But it may move. So we'll put that out. We'll announce that. But it's free care. They're seeing people with diarrhea. They're seeing people with wounds. They're refilling prescriptions because people lost all their meds in the flood. We know some of the primary care providers up here are closed, I think, including Queens and Haleiwa. And there's not a lot of providers up here anyhow. And we know for some people who lost their cars, like our two crew members, one of whom is from this community, their cars were lost at our Wailua EMS station. So, we know people lost their ability to get around easily. So this clinic is here. It's free. I think they even have medicines. So if we can, they can give free medicines. We've had some benefactors from the Oahu contact me personally and say, can we buy medicines for the community? Can we buy other stuff? And so, maybe if we don't have your medicine, there's a chance we could get it. I'm glad the power's back in most places because there were people concerned about their insulin and medications that need to be refrigerated. So use them, use the home's core clinic. If it's something they can't handle, core can take people down to Wahiawa ER or one of the other providers. But EMS will be here for you in the community. And we'll keep you folks updated as things change or evolve. There's a question. So I hear it's still going to be at Ali'i Beach Park, but we'll put it out on official Honolulu alerts. We'll put it out on social media. We'll put it out by word of mouth. The teams are here. You could probably ask any person you see in uniform, a police officer or ambulance, they'll know, but we'll put it up on honolulu.gov. But in the clinic hours right now are 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So again, minor ailments, wounds, sicknesses, medicine refill. If you want to just go get your blood pressure checked. The other thing is if you just need somebody to talk to. Again, there's medical students there. There's faculty from the John A. Burns School of Medicine, volunteers. It's a clinic they actually do during the week, but mostly for people who are homeless. And that's what CORE is for too. It's crisis outreach for homeless. But this is a crisis in this community. So I've diverted about half that team from homeless operations to just support this town, and we're happy to do it. This is city-funded assets, and this is where the need is, and so we'll be here. Yeah, sorry about that. So just a little long-winded in case we run out of time, but I just wanted to get that out there that the clinic's open.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Sugg, and I'm the mayor's chief of staff. And I wanted to not only thank everyone for their heroism on Thursday night into Friday morning, but also for the incredible support that you all are providing. We were over at the command center today, and the operation that Nate and everyone over there is running is remarkable. So mahalo for that. And as we've all said, we're here to support you in any way that we can going forward, and appreciate you all being here tonight. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Krishna Jaram. I'm the Deputy Managing Director. If I could address one of the comments or questions raised about the city or the state coming in and trying to take over, I want to assure you, I want to promise you, that's not our intent. This has been led by the community. The community has done such an incredible job. We're coming in here to do better and to support you all in this. So we have our promise on that. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Roger Babcock.
Can you respect the speaker? I know, but can you respect the speaker? If you want to talk, come over here, get in line with everybody else, okay? So let's respect the speaker.
I don't have an answer for you for that, but let's talk.
So I'm Director of the Department of Environmental Services. We pick up your rubbish, your gray, green, and blue carts. We run the H-Power and the landfill, and as well as all the recycling programs. And we also collect and treat all the wastewater for the city. Thanks.
Good evening, Aaron Takasaki Young, Honolulu Police Department Interim Deputy Chief. We hear your concerns. We can always do better. Talk to us and we'll fix it. Thank you.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Warren Mamizuka. I'm the Deputy Director for DFM. First off, I want to give a shout out to Levi, for all you guys' hard work, yeah? And everybody else in Wainua, yeah? You guys all live in this community who was out there Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, okay? Thank you all for all of that hard work that you guys performed so far. And you guys will continue, yeah? Levi, I met you today, right? I know we have a lot of friends in common and stuff like that, right? But you can trust me when I say our guys won't be out here, okay? We send trucks out, trying to get more trucks, yeah? We have other locations on this island that we also maintain. We're out in Nanakuli, Waianae, Makaha, Kaula, Laie, Kahuku, Ka'awa, Kaneohe, Kailua, parts of Kailua, right? Landslides. I grew up in Haula, so I understand how fast the water can move, how fast it can rise, right? Okay? So trust me, as a local boy on the countryside, yeah, I leave. Yeah, last year we met. Yeah, I'm not gonna bullshit nobody. Okay, straight talk. Yeah, I'm still trying to get more of our vehicles out here. Yeah, I'm working on it. Some of our vacuum trucks, they're in the shop. Okay, I'm talking to our chiefs that run the automotive side, trying to get them repaired. Yeah, so we can get them out here, get them out to Waianae. We struggling out in Waianae too. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah, but we will concentrate our efforts over here as much as we can. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get more trucks. But we in Manoa, we still gotta get to Kapahulu side. Yeah, but we're gonna have we're trying to get a bigger presence, everybody. Okay, but thank you very much for everybody. Longshoremen came out. Yeah, Nate Wong with local oil roll off. With Ed Sniffen. We met with Ed Sniffen this morning. Last night he asked if we could have approval so we can start dredging Kaponahua stream. Yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna start doing that. Yeah, that's a lot. You guys wanted to hear that. We wanted to start off and tell you guys that. Okay, we're serious, but we're not going to try to take over anything, Levi. To you and Brandon Wolf, big mahalo, yeah, for all that you guys do. We're out here for support, and we told our guys we're gonna come out here, we're gonna support. Yeah, we're gonna help our ENV department, right, with Roger Babcock, right. We're here to support. Where do you need the trucks? That's what we're gonna do. Okay, if we can do more, we're gonna do our best to get more manpower out here from DFM. All right, but thank you, everybody. Aloha. You're not going to get in trouble, trust me. I don't operate like everybody else. You know, no, for real. You know, no. Listen. Yeah, okay. So they're supposed to have 2 vacuum trucks. One is in the shop. So that's the one I worked with our chief to get it out. I told him I need it out here for tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to be out here tomorrow morning. Trust me. I will be out here tomorrow morning. Yes. I understand that, you know, I was out at Helena this morning. I'm going to be honest. Hey, that's a lot of devastation. I've seen a lot of people from all around the island come, right? Volunteers, as well as all the community members here, pulling a lot of stuff out of people's yards, bringing them out to the street. Are you guys out there with the vacuum truck, you know, trying to suck up all of that debris in the drains? Yeah. We're going to continue working on it. You have my word, okay? I cannot promise we will get them all clear tomorrow, but we will be out here working on it. Yeah? Yeah, we're going to work on it. We're going to work on it. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, you know, we had 2. One is in the shop. We're trying to get that one out. I just finding out now that, you know, we get some problems with the head, right? Okay. Yeah. Well, let me try to work on that. Let me see what I can do to get that expedited, okay? Okay. But man, we're sorry. We've been busy out at Haona, you know. And if our guys know about Wailua Beach, right? That drain that you're speaking of, you know, I'll make sure that they go out there as well. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna do our best to get out there. Yeah. Yeah. You know, yeah. You know, I get some cards, okay? I'll leave my cards with you guys. They call me. You know what I mean? Of course, I can't take everybody's call, but I can do what I can, right? I'll try and help as much as I can with our guys. Help our guys to help you guys as well. You know, if we need that that head, you know, and I can pay for it and we can get it fixed out here, that's what we'll do. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Ano ai me ke aloha ka ko me ka oia I o a me ke kahui kalamai. E kalamai pakahia pau. Pakahia pau. I'm Kealoha Fox. I'm the Director for the Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency. I think, you know, maybe I just stand up asking for the board's permission of if we have an opportunity to create a community collaborative plan, please count me in, Raquel, and I'll be right there and my team will be right there and we would be happy to help you in any way to create that so that there is a living trust in a document between us. But I can say one thing, I've always been taught by my kupuna, by my kumu, and by my ohana, he aha kamea nui. He aha kamea nui. Kapilina, kapilina, kapilina. And I tell you this as oahine, as a makuahine, as kama'aina, the pilina of every single one of these people, I promise you, is so strong. And we're listening, and Amy sees it, and Carol sees it, and Charlene sees it, Bob sees it. I'm writing down every single recommendation. And I promise you, we're having these discussions, and I will take these back. And this is the team, we're gonna follow up on these actions. I promise you that.
Hello, everyone. I'm Interim Chief Rowdy Vanek. Like I said earlier, you know, at the police department, we are committed to helping you. You have a strong community and we want to match that at the department. Our officers out here, unlike other places across the mainland or wherever, we're part of this community and that's the difference. And who is a community? Community, I say this to my officers, I'll say this to you. Community is not just a buzzword to us. That's not just a community. When you say we're keeping the community safe, we're keeping our families safe. When I talked to my officers, I said, hey, you guys are out there keeping my son, my daughter, my wife, your uncle, your auntie, your brother, your sister. That is who our community is. When I said that our officers were out there as part of the people whose homes were affected, right now, the lieutenant who is the watch commander, who is in charge of the guys, there's like 10 or 11 officers who's still responding to calls for service, by the way. He lives right up the road. Lieutenant Vieira, I don't know if you guys know him. Yeah, his house, his first floor, 3 feet of water. But yet the very next day he came work. He didn't take off. That's the kind guys. That's what I'm talking about. We're committed. We're part of this community. We're here to serve you. We're here to protect you. That is the commitment we have. And, whatever we can do, again, seem like Warren, you got my word. We're here. We're going to do what is needed to make sure that we get the job done. What you get, brother?
I was trying to get to Wahiwa to get some gas so I can have some gas for the generator and keep my neighbor's food alive. That's what I called it for 3 days. So I asked an officer, hey, can I get to Wahiwa right now? And she's like, yeah, Arotaki store. I get to Thompson's Corner. I'm like, I'm going to ask again. And they told me, oh, no, if you go to Wahiwa, you can't come back. So I hope that we can get our story straight. When I asked an officer, hey, what's going on? I want to know. I went on Sunday, they closed Otaki store, and I'm like, oh man, I'm trying to move back and forth. I go to Otaki, and I said, who closed the road? And the Pang family is there, no boy and your truck, and they said, we did. They said, why? Because we're trying to work, and I'll go sit in traffic. I won't bother you anymore. So I just want people to have the story straight. Like if I ask somebody what I'm doing, or if I can do something, I want to know right away.
So what happened? There was a situation on Sunday where there were roads closed by some individuals when our officers weren't there. When we became available, well, what day was it? I'm sorry, sir. So, yeah. So on Friday and Saturday, as the rains were coming, is that the days when the rains were coming in? Yeah. So there were incidents and issues where even our police officers, so remember now, we don't make the calls, right? We get word from the powers that be says, close the roads or open the roads based on safety tips that we're getting. So please keep in mind that our officers, I get, I get that, sir. All right, got it. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Cliff Ramson. I'm the commander of the Major Events Division of the Honolulu Police Department, Emergency Management Branch of HPD, basically. So first off, I'm pretty sure that I don't know of anybody here that doesn't for unreal respect to the folks that kicked into action and made things happen that night. Honestly, nobody here even doubts that at all. Like total respect, guys. Okay. Tell you right now, total respect, 100%. So having said that, I don't know all the answers to all the problems. That this is so complex, involving so many things over such a long period of time. All I know is this: as the police department, we're doing the best we can with what we have right now. And let me tell you something: Chief Vanek and the leadership of the Honolulu Police Department has given me all the resources, access to all the resources we need to move forward, to make sure that we provide you guys safety and security, make sure traffic flows, make sure that we keep as much as we can. We try to keep folks that don't need to be here out of this area, and make sure that we get the equipment and the resources coming from all my partners over here moving forward where it needs to get to. Okay, we're working very closely with the state and the city Department of Transportation to make sure our officers are out there 24/7 to make sure that we can get what you guys need and maintain the highways, maintain the roads, and make sure that everybody gets to where they need to get to. We're also going to do everything we can to make sure we get visible blue lights out there, we get police officers out there, making sure there's no looting, no potential for any kind of anything happening within these neighborhoods, not just the affected neighborhoods, but everything else within the periphery. And that's just not here, but also the other areas that was affected, including Manoa yesterday, including Kahuku, and everything else. We also are part of the Honolulu Incident Management Team. A team is taking over as of tomorrow. They're going to be in action. Took a while to spin up. I cannot answer that. I'm just a guy that's been assigned to that and make it work. So I can tell you this much: resources are being brought in. Like I said, we're moving forward. We're moving forward. That's all I can tell you. We're moving forward. Okay. I can tell you though that since that night, what the chief said was absolutely true. It doesn't take away from anything that happened to you guys. I get it. I understand. But the officers were there. Same with the fire department. We had our resources and did, like I said, we was out there doing the best we could under the circumstances. Sir. Yeah. Got you. Got you. Got you. I hear you. I hear you. So clearly it took time for that to get to where it needed to get to. I get it. It took time for that information to filter through and for action to take place. It did. It just did. And correct. Correct. Okay, and I can assure you going forward, I can only tell you right now, going forward, we have the resources here and we're pushing forward. That's all I can tell you. And once again, like I said, a lot of respect to you guys. Honestly, thank you for the community. We appreciate it.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brandon Nakasato. I'm the interim deputy chief, Honolulu Police Department. And all I want to say is thank you for coming out. We're here to listen to your concerns and learn. And I won't take too much time. Turn it back to the community.
I think I'm the last one of mayor's staff. My name is Scott Humber. I'm the mayor's communications director. I'm sorry for what you are all going through in this room. My wife grew up on the North Shore. I've got family friends that are in this room here. I apologize for what you're going through right now. I have some information that I want to give to you guys that I think is important. Honolulu.gov, okay, is your one-stop shop for resources for the city. At the front of the room here on this table, there are 2 flyers. One specifically about health and services, and one about facts for post-disaster facts that includes phone numbers that you'll need, phone numbers that will help. One of the things that the Department of Emergency Management asked me to stress to you guys tonight is to encourage everyone to report your disaster damage to honolulu.gov/home damage. It's on the flyers in the front of the room here. Starting on Thursday at 10 a.m., a community-led, government-sponsored community assistance center will be opened at Wailua District Park. It will be open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Again, it'll be another one-stop shop for all the resources that you need. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody. Okay, most of you know who I am. Everybody that's outside, if you can, and I just gonna do this real quick. If you're outside, I would like you to come in real quick because these people up here, all these people from the city that came out, I want them to see you. While you guys are coming in, anybody and everybody that knew the Bachelor family and was here in Haleiwa in 1974, I would like you to stand. If you were here, Gamiao, Calais, Derek, if you were here in Haleiwa in 1974, or you knew the Bachelor family, I want you to stand because I want the people in the front to learn tonight. All of you guys, if your families were here in 1974 in Haleiwa, I want you to stand. And the reason that I want to do this is because city people, in 1974, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, 1974, the stream flooded and we lost a family. Eugene Bachelor, where's Officer Kurt Ing? He was out here on Saturday with Mayor Blangiardi. Kurt is my classmate from kindergarten. Our classmate was Eugene Bachelor. He and his family died when that storm came. When they found the mom, she still had the youngest strapped to her. And I want these people up here to see our community, because now you have noticed, you have seen the people that have endured the floods. Cousin Jade, where are you? Stand up, right there. Cousin Jade's house, 2021, 14 inches of mud along Wailua Beach Road. Kai Kahele and all his cronies came out here. Oh, excuse me, his staff came out here. Haima Hirotoya came out here. And they told her, we're going to take care of you. 13 private property owners along Wailua Beach Road with illegal driveways. DPP already has all the email addresses. Whoever's from DPP, talk to me. I will give you that email. But we want you to see the families that were directly impacted by what's not being done. Long Bridge, Raquel, stand up. You're going to represent your father-in-law. Long Bridge, that stream that Long Bridge goes over was as wide as that bridge is long. Raquel's father-in-law, Uncle Tiki, and there was one more. What is his name? They clean that stream on the regular. And now that we have all these property owners that not from over here, that own property along there, not doing what they're doing, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. 1986, Act 121 was passed. And you know what it did? It took the kuleana, it took the responsibility away from the state and away from the city, and it put it on the property owner. And it told the property owner, wherever the end of your property is, if you are by a lake, a stream, a river, you have kuleana to keep 50% of that waterway clear. Our families are, we laborers. We do not have the capacity to take over the responsibility nor the liability that the state and the city had. So I'm telling all of you guys out there for a reason. If and when there comes a time when that bill or that measure goes up to be killed again, speak up. And it's because the community did not speak up that Act 121 in 1986 was passed and put the responsibility of the waters, the streams, Paukawila, Opaiula, you name it, put it on the private property owners who are not doing anything. So these people, they can see our community. We lived here. Derek, how many months did we ask for help with cleaning out there at the mouth going into Kayaka Bay? Too many months. And I'll tell you what happened. We, the community, rallied and we got Team Rubicon to come out there and clean out over there along Long Bridge. You guys all know where the Gamials live. You guys from down here. And we asked and we asked and we called and nothing got done. If Derek and Team Rubicon had not done that 2 years ago, was that 2 years ago that Team Rubicon came out? Last year, if they had not come out and cleaned the mangrove and helped to clear that river, Derek's family would not be here and we would have yet suffered what the Bachelor family suffered. So for all of you from the city, look at these people, look at these faces. And I hope to God we never have to come to a funeral for another family in Haleiwa that we lost an entire family. was lost in that flood. I pray to God we never have to go through that again. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Hello. Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm Derek Gamiao. I was born and raised in Haleiwa, Wailoa, 60 plus years. You know, I'm just a peon over here, but I know what the problem is. I know what it is, and I don't want to blame anybody. I just want to move forward. Trust you guys. Again, I've been here 1 year ago, and I made my statement what's going to happen. If this does not get fixed, this is what's going to happen. I've been here longer than a lot of people. So I seen it. I seen the pipes there. I seen the bastards go down the river. So all I'm asking you guys, try and listen to what the residents are saying. We've been through this. We've been through it. You know, I'm so happy to hear that you guys are moving forward, and we're gonna resolve this issue. You know, please, you know, I'm telling you guys need to, we need to get this thing done. We gotta open up the river. If you don't open up the river, I tell you the water's gonna go sideways. There's no way out. And the thing about it is, you got Wailoa, Haleiwa River coming down together. It goes right into Kayaka Bay. That's our choking point. So if the debris that don't get out, it's gonna back up. I promise you, it's gonna back up. We got guys like Peter Boy, you know, Noah Pang, Leif Robinson, you know, Adam Lee, Dexter Regagola. They were out there in the middle of the storm. They were they're actually the real heroes of this big flood. You know, you got to give them props. You know, that's why I don't want to blame anybody, but I'm happy to hear that we're moving forward and we're going to get something done. You guys seen it. Promise, if we don't do it, it's going to happen again. Okay, you know, thank you, Tamara. Thank you, all of you guys. You know, I really, really appreciate this to hear that something's going to get done. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I'm Lee Sweat. I moved here about 3 years ago. I'm a finance executive in tech. And I speak to people like you all the time in the private sector, decision makers. And I'm gonna keep this very brief. I'm gonna provide some feedback and paths and questions for all of you to think about and for us to plan moving forward, because there's just some obvious failure points that occurred here. It's just obvious. And without the community here that banded together to resolve all these issues, I mean, there's heroes. I mean, I was driving by, it was unbelievable. It was all because of the people. Nobody else except the people. So thank you to everybody for binding together to get us through this. It's truly remarkable. To the points. I got 7 of them, so bear with me. We might write this down. The acute response. That's the biggest problem. That's where you're seeing a lot of the frustration. I didn't see anybody up here. No lights, no EMS, no state of Hawaii resources, no front loaders from the state, no backhoes, nothing. It was just the people. So the people are frustrated. That's what you're hearing tonight on the acute response, right? It's great you're here now. Fantastic, right? We got to figure out how to get surge capacity faster from you folks so you have a presence right away. So what can we learn from the people that actually helped resolve all this damage? Having an open community dialogue with everybody here, all the people running the trucks. What did they do in the 12, 24, 48 hours post all of this happening? What is the analysis on that? There should be a plan to get everybody in a room, talk about what they did. What's the plan for making people whole on their fuel costs, their time, all of the resources that they deployed for cleanup, not just the damages, but the people running diesel rigs. Where all that fuel, where's the resources for that? What are we going to do about that? I don't need answers now. I'm just having you write down the questions. What is the plan for the displaced people? I forget who brought that up. I mean, there's a lot of displaced people in this community that lost their houses, families lost their houses. They can't rent at the prices up here. It's bananas. So what is the plan there? What are the resources for the people to live? Just to live, to put a house over their head. What's the plan for keeping the roads open? With Waimea Bay closed, there's only two ways out of this place. There's Kamehameha, there's Farrington. When Farrington closes, there's no way out except Kamehameha, and that's partially flooded. What are we going to do about keeping the roads clear in emergencies like this? The same thing happened in the tsunami. There were 3-hour lines to get out of this place. We're in a bottleneck chokehold, so we have to figure out how do we cut off traffic coming into the North Shore, divert it all out. We got to figure out a better path here. It just doesn't make sense. Let's see. What's the plan for the beach cleanup? I mean, the trash and everything that came down. We have the community with their backhoes and their front loaders and everybody coming in, 55-barrel oil containers, hydraulic fluid containers, furniture, houses, nails, screws, everything. And it's just the community that's picking that up. There hasn't been a single resource from the state, not a single one that's been on that beach. I've been on that beach every day. I live on that beach right out there, Kahone Loop. Like, I live right there. There's been nobody from the state, nobody from the city and county, nobody. So and that leads to the ocean as well. What is the plan for cleaning the ocean? Like, and the areas around the beachfront. What is the plan there? We are an ocean community, right? Everybody here values and lives and breathes the ocean here, right? What are we going to do about that? There's toxic stuff all over this place. What are we going to do about it? What's the plan? Lastly, or second to last, what is the emergency medical surge capacity plan? When we get cut off from Kahuku and the only place to go is Waiwa, same problem. We have a bottleneck. We're isolated here. We don't have resources up here. How do we surge immediate medical capacity in a situation like this? And to one of the comments earlier from you all, I don't remember who it was, but we talk about this unprecedented happening all the time. Well, it's happening every other year from basically what I just heard up here. How do we model that? How do we figure out, how do you get more resources here in that time? We have a lot of powerful software tools available to us. Why don't we use them? Why don't we use them? Most of them are free. Lastly, second to last, sorry. What is the communication plan other than going to honolulu.gov? What is the communication plan? Expecting people just to go to a random website, that's a pulling people there, that's not a very reasonable thing. How do we push alerts to people better? How do we give people more information? How do you be proactive versus just throwing something up on a billboard on the internet? That's not very reasonable. Like we just have to be better. And the last thing, an important one.
Okay, last one, brother.
Last one.
Yeah, everybody get stuff for talk.
Sorry about this. How is it possible that the state has the funds to buy the dam and hasn't done that yet? Why does Dole, a private company who has no interest in protecting everybody like the government does, how does the government have the funds to purchase that thing and not buy it? The government's here to protect us. Government's here to make sure that things that are in the public interest, like that, are in the public's hands, not a private company. That's it.
Sorry. Hey, we're gonna moderate this. You get the clock timer. So make sure you guys gather your thoughts. Yeah. and then maybe, I don't know, minute half so we can go. Just real quick before, 2 minutes? Okay. Just before I get in, just to some recommendations. So you guys here to listen, and I appreciate that. Talking about the Dole land sell-off, yeah. There's 2 watersheds that feeds right into Wailua Bay. So Gamiao, he sees on both. Ki'iki'i watershed and Paukawila. Up there, you get Laukiha projects going on, right? Helemano, you got Opaiula streams. There's no riparian strategies over there. There's no native vegetation. There's nothing. That helps erosion and control. Yeah, we had unprecedented waters. You said it, Mayor. We heard you. All right, we heard you. And that's where I'll get into the response in a bit, just for recommendations. But these watersheds, Ki'iki'i, all private landowners need riparian strategies to fix these streams. Fix these streams, plant the vegetation, hold the landowners accountable. Hold them accountable to that land management and stewardship. Sorry, going back to the response. So rescues were already happening before midnight on Thursday night. Official sirens happened at 4 a.m. That's the reality. People were waking up, feet in the water, yeah, and underwater. Okay, the next morning, we know the families that was helping out. They all over the place. Neighbors helping neighbors in the middle of the night, pulling people to safety, while systems designed to protect us fell short of our expectations. I'll tell you right now, it fell short. It fell short of our expectations. We appreciate the hard work of the first responders, but the bravery of the bradas in the back, all the uncles, the Pangs, the Suzas, the Ritas, all of that needs to be recognized. We expected more from the city and county's emergency management. We heard your warnings. Forecasts indicated, you shared everything you guys were doing, right? Modeling, the forecasts, right? Projecting, everything, which is great, right? Unpredictable. But I still feel there was a missed opportunity. A missed opportunity to pre-stage high water resources, issue timely, effective alerts through phones. We have reverse 911 technology. We know nothing on my phone. Nothing on my phone. This is midnight. We are trying to bail water out in our families' homes. And we live ranch camp. It's high. But the water was just too much. North Shore communities literally felt left in the dark during the most critical overnight hours. Literally in the dark, not even light towers. I'm pulling my light tower to the gym so people know the gym is open. In fact, the first guys that came to the gym around 2, 3 in the morning, not even open. There was no strategy in place for a rapid response. I'm just telling you what I saw. This event left families shaken, homes destroyed, severely damaged, and our community questioning the reliability of our warning and response systems. No deaths occurred, which we're all grateful for, but the trauma, the property loss, the sense of vulnerability remain very real. I was just over here, Short Bridge, pulling out cars and mud yesterday, right? We get this somehow, some alert that the dam breached. Brada Reed over there panicking. I can see the PTSD stress. I'm in healthcare. He's at a stress level so high. He's like, we got to get out of here. I'm in my tractor. I'm scared. Like, what's going on, bro? Unhook everything, jump in the trucks, and we're gone. Come to find out, it's a false alarm. That's the sense of trauma we're feeling. As a learning experience, I respectfully urge and advocate, review your strengthening and overnight responses, especially when you guys have modeling forecasts at unpredicted levels. Why not prepare for the worst? Stage the lights so we can see. We know the power is gonna go out. Turn it on so we can see. Put your high water vehicles there. There was no high water vehicles until the military came and daylight broke. Only the high water vehicles was the families. That's all I saw. I was there, people coming in. They're pulling people out into the evacuation zones. Ensure early staging personnel, high water vehicles, rescue equipment, all the vulnerable areas. Otake Camp, there's no excuse for that. I have family and friends struggling to get out there, almost die. That's unacceptable. Improve your multi-channel notification systems. Include better coverage in our areas, in our rural areas, and have actionable messages. something that is efficient and not left confused for us, like, what's going on? Is it broken? Are we dead? Are we alive? Do we have a chance? Our community is strong and resilient, but we deserve emergency systems we can trust. I ask all of you to take these concerns seriously, not just from me, from everybody. Because I know, again, Hawaiians back there, they're not going to come up and talk because they're so full of anger and emotions that all they're going to do is yell. And I appreciate you guys coming up here and taking the blast. But that's the fact. And I'm up here representing them because it hurts me to see their families impacted. It hurts me. Wow.
My name is Sophia King. I'm 15 years old. I'm closer. I lived in Hawaii since the day I was born. I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to be fucking superficial. I'm going to say the truth. The reason that these people aren't giving us a straight answer is because that they know just as little as we do. Just as little as we do. The dam overflowing was intentional. Waialua is sacred aina, and it is very, very valuable to all of the people. This is a tight-knit community. All of the people own the land. They're in charge of everything. The government did not come in to help with anything. It's not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence that that this Hawaii is a military base. Does anybody here know what a directed energy weapon is? It is a tool that they can use to move a storm to wherever is most convenient. And if the government wants to take land from the people, if they want to take land from the people, this is the place. This is the perfect testing ground. This is where it is easiest for them to see how the community would react. And that is why that they didn't tell us anything. They didn't put on the sirens until 5 in the morning. I mean, come on. It's so obvious. Now, why would they tell us if the dam is about to break? Why would they tell us to go to Waialua High School? If that's still in the zone, everything is going to get wiped out. That's not a coincidence. The roads, they weren't telling us to go on the roads. They weren't telling us to evacuate. They were telling us to go to Waialua. It's just terrible. And it is not
is up.
Systems that are supposed to protect.
I'm going to call Rank as board chair tonight because we got a lovely line of people behind you that we really want to get to, and they've been waiting patiently. So thank you. So thank you, young lady. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. So we are going to start timing people because we do want to get to everybody. Everything is important. Thank you.
My husband was speaking to me tonight about a solution. So just his thoughts. Lake Wilson is no longer used by Dole, from what we understand. So why not take down the dam and open that up so the water just flows? And in Hawaii Kai, it was a swampland before, and they built the marina. So now it is no longer that way. So he was suggesting we just open that up and make it more like a marina so that the water can flow down.
Yeah. Aloha. My name is Michael Walker. I've been a member of this community for 22 years. I've been in a lot of meetings with these folks here in the room. And trust me, they are going to listen to you. They are going to respond. All of your time is very, very valuable. Everybody's been working very hard. Mahalo to everyone who's been involved in the response and the recovery. Your time is valuable. You guys got to get some rest tonight. I think the most important thing that you guys can do tonight is just like Joshie did earlier, is convey the needs that you have for the recovery right now. Say, hey, sir, this is what we're lacking. Can you provide this for us? There's going to be plenty of time for the after action review and trying to figure out the whole plan going forward and what went wrong in the past. But the most important thing you can do right now with your time in this room is to convey your needs to these people so that they can get the resources to you for the recovery. Mahalo.
Hi, everyone. My name is Courtney Southwick. I live on Crozier towards Mokuleia. I'm really glad to have all of you together. This is like a really good opportunity to bring up some of this stuff. So I'm going to go through 4 fast points as fast as I can. A little cerebral. We all need to go to bed eventually. Regarding the dam, I looked into some documents. I do architecture, so I was looking into some documents, and there were 12 items that Dole was given to do. I believe it was 12. These are projects, and I believe they completed 2. I don't know if they got in over their head or what. What is preventing the transfer to the state exactly? What we want to know, like, how can we make that process, like, how can that process be more seamless, quicker? Is it money? Like, what's the holdup? If you guys could really look into that. That's a big concern of all of us, myself included. I was freaking out about this dam. Okay, next, what is the hangup with clearing the rivers? Can we get people deployed like immediately, like tomorrow, to help clear this stuff, help these guys out? I mean, they've been going 4 days. They got to be like completely burned out almost, but they probably won't burn out because they're extremely strong. On that point, can you put together a compensation plan for them? The equipment they have is very expensive. They've been running it through not normal conditions. So I imagine it's going to cause some wear and tear on the equipment, possibly some damage, at least a compensation plan, some kind of help with that. Next, I got a bug on me. Okay. Next, there are people who have filled easements with concrete. I know this down the street. We need DPP to look into that. Whoever it is, they need to get the fines, and we need to unearth the easements, because that definitely is part of the problem. Yeah, major. So test results, can we publish these somewhere where everyone just knows right away? I call up Board of Water Supply and I'm like, give me the head scientist. That's not even in a disaster. I'm paranoid. I do that normally. Okay, 30 seconds. All right, supply needs. You guys, urgent needs are right now are boots, shovels, propane, Dawn dish soap. Mold is happening. So we need N95 masks for our people because this is gonna make them sick. I was sick with mold for 3 years. Miller's hydrogen peroxide cleaner. Don't use bleach, you guys. It makes the mold spores like worse. PPE suits, respirators, masks, pressure washers, and pumps. This is what I'm hearing from multiple hubs. So those are like the cleaning stuff and the heavy duty equipment. Maybe some generators still, you guys, or is generators still needed? That kind of stuff is really, really needed immediately. Right now, medical, antibiotics, and peroxide. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Really quickly, this Friday, 1 second, Dennis. This Friday, the Board of Land and Natural Resources will be taking up the transfer of the dam. It is on their agenda for the transfer for approval. Ironically, it was supposed to be Friday the 13th, and guess what happened? We got blasted with rain. If you're interested, go to the deal in our website at hawaii.gov. This board has supported the transfer. Please send in your testimony. It's imperative. Thank you.
I am Dennis Park. I have 3 concerns: the rivers, the dam, and access out of here during an emergency. As far as the rivers go, it's always been a problem of silt. At one time, our rivers were both flowing freely, deep. Long Bridge had an island in the middle. It was deep. They dredged it to clear the silt that builds up down by the Hollow Bridge, saying that would cure it. Now the silt's up to the bridge. The river is a quarter wide. When you do clear the river, it has to be free-flowing, and you have to address the silt annually or on a steady basis. That's the cause of the problem, the silt buildup. The dam, we had misinformation. When I got the alert, they said the dam going to fail. I figured the dam going to break. crash on us. Then I saw the Dole representative saying it cannot break, it's only overflow. We need the real information. Is it only overflow? Can it break? We need the right information. And who manages the water? The water level has to be maintained so that we can address a storm when it comes. Who does that? Is there enough drainage to let the water out to maintain the level? Number 3, the only reason we got out of here was one lane was open on Otaki Bridge. Without that, we couldn't get out. We're stuck. By Wailoa High School, there's an old hollow bridge that goes way up. I don't know if it's still open or not. Maybe they can look at creating another road and an area where people can evacuate if we don't have access out of here. And one more thing. When I was in high school and we had to evacuate for tidal wave, our evacuation center was the Wailoa Gym. We were all parked around the park over here. So over time, things change, we learn. That's what we're doing here. We're learning, we're making things better for our future.
Aloha, my name is Lisa Waine'e, and this question is directed directly to Mr. Mayor. What I want to know is, what are the DPP's plans to help homeowners expedite the permit process with the expected influx of applicants? How long should we be expected to wait? And what should we do in the meantime as our homes are destroyed?
We've set up with DPP that you do not need a permit to begin repairing your work. You have to file for a permit. We're gonna later on check for safety, but you can start repairing your homes without a permit. Okay?
Thank you.
This is up for DPP. We've also waived the permitting, the DPP fees. We've waived tipping fees at the, if anybody's disposing at the convenience centers. But we've waived all fees. You can begin your repair work immediately, okay?
Hi, my name is Christina. I just wanted to piggyback off of TJ's message. I want to speak on behalf of my mother-in-law who cannot be here physically. The Pastos and Fujinaga family, they've endured the disasters before. So her message to you guys is, we need all that is needed, that is given to the important towns other than Wailua and Haleiwa. Wailua and Haleiwa has always been put on the backside. We have taken all the troubles without grumbling. We have lived peacefully and calmly, even in dismay, trouble, and disaster. What you guys can do is ask the old timers what is needed to keep their town alive and well. And because there's adults talking at this meeting, I want you guys to hear from this young man who just recently graduated from high school.
How's everybody? My name is Nu'utea. I'm 18. I just graduated. But I'm here to speak behalf on my family. I just have like 2 things I want to ask about just because what my family wanted. We want to know, like, what are you guys gonna do for all the families that are still, like, I can name 100 families from Longbridge, where we live, all the way to Otaki, hundreds of families that have to stay in their homes because they have nowhere to go. And then it's just like whoever lives in their house and has mud in their house, and you have to stay there and you have nothing. It's just like, and then the other thing, the last thing I will say is I try not to rip you guys, but bruh, I had first swim out with my sister, and I really want this to make like a point to you guys. No one was at Longbridge from 1 a.m. when the water came all the way to 5 in the morning. There's one firefighter. I just want to put that out there. And I feel like I had to say that for my family. But if there's one firefighter at Longbridge, when we went to Otake, there's no one. I just want you guys to know that. There's one cop blocking that one bridge. If it wasn't for all these guys out here, all these guys with the excavator, I could guarantee say with my full heart, Long choke people at Longbridge would be dead right now. From kids to choke people. And I can't even think about Otake. Houses were swept over there. And it's just like, what were you guys doing? Like, we never even, my family, we didn't hear the sirens until everyone was out. My whole neighborhood. And I try not to badmouth you guys because I know you do a lot for our community, but it's just like, where were you guys? You know what I mean? Understand we're very limited on resources, and I know there's a lot going on right now, but it's just, I felt like, me personally, I felt like you guys kind of just, all the houses, or all the places that got hit the most, just left us out to dry, bro. And that's like, and it's hard, bro. And these guys really you guys don't understand. Like, if it wasn't for these guys, a lot of kids, families, children, they would be dead right now. Like, me and my sister had to literally swim out of our house. And my sister, if you guys know my family, my sister is 11. My sister's tiny. And that's like, that shouldn't even be a thing. And if you know Longbridge, you know how much we get flooded. And you know, if we want to know, are you guys going to do anything about the water? Or are you guys going to dig trenches or do something, let water out? Because Longbridge is really a problem. And we get flooded so much that it's like, how do we even know it's going to be a warning next time? You know what I mean? And this time was way too close. Like, next time, for sure, how many people we're not going to be able to save next time? You know what I mean? But, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you for hearing from us. I'm going to try to keep this short. I guess, first off, can we get a little bit of clarity on how you're going to approach making sure the sirens are working? How many sirens are actively working? Because we had issues with hearing sirens farther down to Cayena. I think another thing that you could possibly address moving forward is clearly there's multiple waterways and outlets that flow through our watershed. Where is the hydrological survey and what does it take to get one going forward so that we can accurately assess where our fail points are inside of our community from Cayena to Wailua? And I think finally, could you, round up some funding, put together a task force that has an enforcement arm that can look into maintaining these waterways, making sure that, they're operational, that they connect in the way that they should, that they flow out of the river mouths, because that would have possibly, hindsight, that could, looking forward, that could really make a big difference for the next time we have a big storm. So. Yeah.
That's for the water. Yeah. Oh. First thing. Oh. Yes.
And there was more than one landslide. There was literally more than one landslide. We need someone above looking at all that too, as well as testing for PFOAs and AFFF. I do want to say I found some old maps that do I just want to say I found some old maps that have different regions that say what different soil came from where and whatnot. And so if we're able to do core soil testing and pinpoint where that soil came from, then maybe we can make something better and put either plant, native trees to stop the erosion and whatnot, but we have to be more proactive and not reactive. So next person.
Really quick, we got about 30 minutes. We do have to end at 9:30. That's our contract. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Sean. I'm a Waialua resident here. I want to thank you guys for coming here and looking at what we're going through and listening to us. And one thing or two things I want to mention. One is that there's a lot of talk about emergency services coming and rescuing us. That's not the case. I know you guys all know that's not the case. Going off of where the military was, eventually in the day, I did see the high-rise vehicles show up in front of my house. There were families that were trapped. 90-year-olds, it was known, it was spoken with 911. They told the family, we're not going. I saw the high-rise vehicles come. They parked on the side of the road. They never got out of the vehicle, the National Guard. We, as the community, said, we're not going to leave these people in their houses. We're going to go through this flood and go get it. That guy right there in the black hat and the black shirt picked me up in his front loader. And we're the reason, and he's the reason. That guy right there. He picked me up and we went and we got the family. Nobody else helped. They literally told us, no, we're not going, sorry. They backed their vehicle up and said, good luck, go ahead and go in. And thank you, and watched us go get all those people out of those houses. The next day when we were rescuing other families and animals out of houses, that man again was there on the other side of the North Shore, helping. Levi, yes, Levi. That's our hero here. That's who everybody needs to be reporting about. It's not emergency services. I'm sorry, that's not the case. That's the hero. Number two, we have, somebody said that there are people that are going to have to live in their homes. We do. We have to live. We have nowhere to go. Is there anything that the state can do to help these homes with mold remediation? People are going to put homes together just to live in them. Is there any sort of anything that can be done to make sure that these people are not going back to homes filled with mold? That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Hello. Aloha, Mayor and the team here tonight, all of our community. Milton and Hinano Nahinu, we live up on Farrington across from the high school. The high school is designated as an evacuation center, right? So we got up at 11:30, we were already 3 feet underwater. At that time, we ran outside, road was covered, there was guys trying to get people out, the kupuna especially, right? They were looking for all the homes where we know there's kupuna that cannot mobilize. So trying to get them out. And our first thought was to get them to the shelter, right, and get to the high school. Unfortunately, the high school was not open. The gates were locked. This was about between 11:30 and 12 o'clock. So we pulled aside on that road going up to, what is that? Plantation Road. And I'm standing there in the water and there's catfish jumping over my feet. Where the heck, the fish is coming from the reservoir up top that must have overloaded at some point because we don't have catfish on that side of the road. I mean, so to see that, we knew that there was something greater happening up above us, right? And so anyways, I know American Red Cross is responsible for sheltering at the high school. Us and another gentleman that was there called it in and they told us to cut the lock and just open the gate, let people in, right? When we did that, the power went out, unfortunately. And my understanding is that you're not allowed people in when there's no power. Okay, fine. We're waiting for sirens to go off. There was nothing. Nothing. We didn't hear our siren at the high school side till 7 in the morning. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but we didn't hear it till 7. And at that time, water was starting to, cut back a little bit. So we went back to get and help more people out. All that to say is that, these disasters and storms that are happening, it's not a matter of how, it's when, right? So we're going to continue. We're on an island. Disasters are prone to happen. We should already have disaster plans in place with our community boards. We have excellent leaders in our community. Look at the way these guys rose up. Those guys should be appointed leaders authorized to deploy immediately in lieu of you guys not being able to come out, and appoint them so that they know what to do and stabilize. We all should have a master plan. We had Kupuna wavering whether they should go or stay. There's no question asked. This happens, you need to go. This is where you go. This is who you talk to. We've got great communication people on social media keeping everybody abreast and try to do their part to keep us well informed with communications. You should already be in contact with our key players in our community. And that connection, that collaboration that Rochelle talks about is super, super important for our community, Mayor, that we connect the right people to the right community key players and leaders out here that do a damn good job at what they do, and they should be compensated. They are small businesses, they are families that need to feed their families for the work that they've done. They're not even looking for that. But we should already know that those kind of times is when we malama them and we take care and we work together. We can work together. You saw it. They stepped it up first, right? So we need to just stick together on this.
I'd like to say, Baraliba guys, the guys in the back, 11:45, you guys, front loaders already running down Farrington Highway. Just God bless you guys. Good heart you guys get. God bless you guys. I also wanted to say, I grew up on Farrington Highway all my life. My mom lived in the same house 83 years. After the first Honolulu last week, I asked her, Mom, you ever seen Farrington Highway flood like this? She said, never. Over the years, the plantation used to have all cane fields even before the church was there. There was always a big ditch that ran down the left side of Farrington Highway going to Mokulia. The right side, we get storm drains, my house is the first one, get about 6 more before you reach the last house. Every time we call the city to clean the drain out, gotta call the state. Call the state, gotta call the city. It's a ping pong game constantly. One time, the state guy came by, they was doing something across the street, and I asked him, we had California grass growing out of the drain. If I stick my finger in, I can, not even 2 inches, I get mud on my finger already. They come, like told the guy, you guys can just come clean this drain out or scoop the dirt away. But what they do is they get their shovels, all the kids there, scooped up dirt, put them on the grass by my fence. What do you think will happen when the rain comes? Obvious, it doesn't take rocket science to figure that one out. They came to clean the storm drain, second one down from my house. The day after that, the heavy rains on the Honolulu, the first one. The truck was only half full. You can see the gauge in the back of the truck. So Auntie asked them, you guys not going to clean the whole thing? Well, Auntie, I'm almost by work and the storm coming. We got to go back up the hill already. My point in all of this is good to see agriculture in Wailua, even though no more sugar cane anymore. But somebody got to be responsible for all the drain that was covered. I mean, I see the farmers by my house. They want to make berms so nobody can see their gardens. But whether they realize it or not, they're naive or what, stupid, but they're covering the drain up. There's no storm drains along Franklin Highway. When Pioneer Mill and whoever was Monsanto, Bear, whoever is, there used to be big storm drains coming out of Cane Hall Road. There's nothing. So that road, the Cane Hall Road, is a big raging river when it rains like this. My last point is, all these weather guys, all you guys talking about these models and predictions, we all know in Hawaii, we all know. You guys say going to rain light, going to rain heavy. The weather is so unpredictable, it can change in an hour from what the weatherman says. So we got to be more proactive. You folks, I called 911 at 11:35 on Thursday. I asked the dispatcher if the gym was going to open up. She said there's nothing in the system of Red Cross opening any shelters anytime soon. And then she tells me, they called me back at 11:48 saying that she sees on her computer that EOC is being activated. So I asked her, you got to be kidding me, because you guys are proactive in getting us prepared for the second Honolulu, but you guys don't have anything on standby for the people. And we're flooding on Franklin Highway again. And in Wailua, the whole place. So I think you folks need to be more proactive in having, like my wife said, just use the community, use the leaders in our community resources just to have something on standby if this happens.
I'm sorry, please don't be mad at me. I just want to make sure everyone gets something to say a little bit at least, because we have to close soon. So please
Real
just.
quick, Molly is here from the Red Cross. There's only 5 volunteers out here in Wailua. We need more people to sign up for volunteers. Molly, stand up so they know who to talk to. Thank you.
Aloha, my name is Janelle O'Sullivan. And I guess I'm really I'm grateful to see DPP here tonight because my question is for you, I guess. I'm worried about this bridge. You guys remember it was closed a couple years ago and that caused a lot of traffic issues for us. And I haven't heard anyone talk about it since. Apparently some repairs were done to keep it functionable for like the next 5 years while we wait on permits for the other one to be built. Do we have any idea where we're at with that? So this doesn't happen and then we're without a road.
Yeah, are you Ian's wife?
I am, yes.
Yeah, please tell myself.
I'm representing the O'Sullivan.
Okay, actually, that project is supposed to start this spring.
Thank God.
We actually had a presentation at the board a few months ago, and we will follow up and make sure that that gets done quickly. Thank you for coming.
Okay, just wanted to bring that to top of mind. Thank you.
Aloha, my name's Makani. Thank you for being here, and thank you for everyone conveying their thoughts with clarity, conviction, and consciousness. Because what we are looking at here there are leaders in our community, and with the failure it's literally a failure with the systems that are existing and in place on county, state levels, and through multiple departments. We are doing the best that certain systems are allowing us to, and bureaucracy. But when it talks about, I want to talk about a couple of different things because many things have been mentioned tonight. I'm concerned about the waterway systems as well as the stream beds and the permitting that is allowed and for the uses of the areas that we know are exiting as water systems. In traditional times, we had Konahiki to be able to manage these systems of Ahupua'a. And unfortunately, as the state took over these resources, if you do not know what Konahiki is, then it's about time that when you have these discussions about how to move forward, look in this room because we have descendants of Konahiki and modern day Konahiki all here. Konahiki were the individuals that were appointed by other leaders to be able to address resource management and humans and people as a resource as well. Major one is water systems, right? And allowing people to build some on watershed that has been left out. No, I'm sorry, heart's racing, right? Like collective trauma here, so ekalamai. What I would like to see is actually no closed room doors. Konahiki are here. And if none of these people or only one is representing the decision-making process with you or none at all, you guys are all failed. And will fail again because climate crisis or climate change is real and it will happen. Floods have happened due to mismanagement of land. If you guys are not going to be the ones to do it, and I applaud those that have rescued and showed up, then we will, regardless. And we'll step to be able to do that and continue to do that. If anybody is interested in reinstating the Konahiki system of operation and land management, step up. I know there's a lot of people here that will, Kanani, Zaz, other community members here that are willing to have this conversation and take it to the higher levels just to have that representation because it's not Pono right now. And it's gonna happen again. It's not when, it will.
We got 15 minutes, guys, 15, thank you.
Hi, my name is Danelli. I'm born and raised in Haleiwa. My family is the Cuby and Cannon family, as well as the Kalulu family. I know we talked about the river. I know we talked about the dam, about it, but I just think those are little factors that add up in the big picture. I think we were forgetting about, we've had more rain before. Remember the 40 days that we had rain straight? So I think like with all the new development that we've had between that rain and more, is a lot of people are backfilling the wetlands and changing the waterways, and it's affecting all the old timers who are down on the lower side. And yes, going off of Chaz Barrett, he said, yeah, we should find those people, but not only find them, have them fix it. Because if this keeps happening, the old timers or those that have on the lower end are still gonna be dealing with their homes being flooded. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Hi, I'm just gonna go really quick. Levi Rita is my brother-in-law. And Kelsey Canijo was another one that was out with the machines. And we've been, as a family, out in the community every day. And so I understand there's a lot of moving parts to things. And I'm a big believer in seeing both sides. So I get that there's frustration and there's things that need to be answered. And I think that because tensions are so high, now might not be the time to do so. And I get where you guys are coming from with that. But with that being said, I think a big fear right now in the community is the state and whoever coming in, the National Guard, and just saying, okay, step aside. But I really ask that you guys be respectful of the people who have been here since day one and try to find a good medium. Like trying to kick them out, I can tell you, Levi, myself, Wyatt, Kelsey, all our family, they don't help because they want the fame and the glory. They help because it's in their heart. And that's how they were raised to do so. They're not gonna stand by and watch, and they're not gonna be pushed aside, because if anybody understands the town, the land, the families, it's them. Then that's who's helping, the families. And I think it's been huge because there are people being missed, but it's not because that's someone's cousin. My auntie's over there, my friend's grandma. And with that being said, if anybody knows any family that is in need of volunteers, please reach out to me. My Instagram is Nicole Kahale. We want to make sure no rock goes unturned. We want to make sure no family gets missed. We have thousands of resources, and we want to share that around. And we want to make sure we're sending people in the right direction. But that's really all I ask, is finding a happy medium. Like, don't come in here and try and kick people out, because they're here and they want to help and they've been helping. And then maybe in 2 weeks, a month, when things settle down a little bit, talk to people like Levi, have a sit-down conversation, maybe not in front of a crowd, but understand where the frustrations are coming from, understand where the pain is coming from, and don't let it happen again. Just don't let it happen again. I think that's what they all ask.
My first point is tonight we've heard a lot of people say, oh, I never heard it. It's never flooded here before. It's never flooded here before. All my life, we never seen nothing like this. So we've had a lot of new data come to us in the past 2 weeks. And when this new data, when the earth works in a different way, this is a chance for all of us to gather that data. And my suggestion would to be make new flood maps, chart out all the streams if that hasn't already happened, follow those streams, work with community members that already do the work, create a system, a schedule for each one of those, whatever pukas that are, and make sure that they get whatever cleared out. But yes, that's my suggestion is we have new data, we should make new flood maps.
I just want to say I've been working with someone the last couple of days and we did tours checking everything, and he's working on flood maps and we got good things coming. We just need to get in the room and sit at the table with the right people.
Aloha. I'm just wondering if if the dam levels go back to 85 feet, are we under mandatory evacuation again? How dangerous is that situation? Is there someone who can answer that or not? It's okay if there's not.
Well, I think I can answer it, but I'm at 85, as I understood from this whole experience, because this is my first time in those conversations with all the people on the phone. They will order an evacuation if they think it's imminent. They will order an evacuation at 85 or more if it starts to spill over. Okay, it can go to 90. And I think, as somebody said before, it's not about the structural integrity of the dam, but that dam is 101 years old. It was built in 1925. So that's where the confusion was, whether it would spill over or whether it would just completely break. And I think that was some things that were not communicated well. Okay.
So, I noticed it rose 1 foot yesterday in 2 hours with light rain. And I drove from here all the way to Mililani. It was light rain. So I feel like, 5 hours of normal rain in Wahiwa, and we're going to be under mandatory evacuation in a situation that it seems like is deadly or very dangerous to us. And
Well,
so
they have pumps, there's pumps at work.
I
They're
didn't.
trying to take it down. In fact, last week, in looking at the dam, it had gone up there and then came back down. Despite how heavy it was raining, it actually came down. So that's a whole new experience for us. And I heard a lot of stuff about the dams tonight and the bridges. So I can only tell you, answer your question. At 85, it's typically max mandatory.
So we should probably be prepared to go with a few hours of rainfall at this point because it's at 81 right now.
Well, that's 4 feet, takes quite a bit for that to go up 4 feet. I heard what you just said about the one, but it's interesting. It doesn't quite calibrate that way. The inches per rain versus the foot level, the feet level and rise in the dam.
I understand what you mean. It's just that I was watching it yesterday and it went up
Yeah.
1 foot in 2 hours of light rain.
Yeah,
So
then it might have come down again too.
not much.
Yeah, well, okay, but I would tell you, we watched that a lot last week. That was an education for me. Quite honestly, this is really the state's call, but we're taking the heat tonight as a city, okay? So, it's all DLNR, but I want to hear. Look, before I get a chance, anyway, so I want to thank everybody. We said tonight, if you heard me in the beginning, before we came here to listen. We said we didn't come to speak. I did want you to hear from some of the men and women up here because there's a lot of knowledge and experience to try to offer some assurances. But I can promise you, I know Kayla and Scott, we've been taking notes. We're hearing you. We're listening to you. This is a very painful experience for all of you and for all of us, if I can say it that way. But know that you're being here tonight. I don't know how much we're going to get handled of it, but I promise you're going to do something about it. But honestly, it doesn't quite go up and down like that. I had the same thoughts, and they told me I was wrong. I can give you the names of the people at the state. They really know a lot about this dam at the DLNR. I'll be happy to give you that. Let them tell you scientifically, because all you're going to get from me is what limited knowledge I have.
Okay.
Mayor, I can help you.
I got two people, and then I want the mayor to close out. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I'll get you their numbers. I know who they are.
I can help that confusion on your face, yeah? So you know Wahiwa Dam? It's in totality was built 88 feet. Dole a couple of years ago added 2 feet, so it goes to 90. Everybody can write this website down. waterdata.usgs.gov. You can monitor the dam yourself. When you get to an area that you feel uncomfortable, you can go. But the alerts will come out depending on the rate of rain. It depends how quickly the rain is coming. It's not gonna bust at the seams like in the movies. It's like when you put your coffee cup in your bowl, you pour it, it spills out of the cup into the bowl. That's your spillway. When your spillway fills, it comes out. It will be a gradual flow of water down here. Kaukonohua and the dam take on water also from the ko'olaus in a minimal capacity. Depending on where the rain comes from, if it comes from the ko'olaus, the Haliva River is going to fill. Anohulu, Helemano, Opaiula, Helemano turn into Paukoila. Okay? When the rains come like it did the other night from Ka'ala, you get 5 valleys inside that mountain. All the water from there comes down here. And it goes to Kaukonohua. The water came this way. So when the water is too much, no matter how much you get, it's going to come out. So if you feel unsafe, I tell everybody this, if you feel unsafe, you don't need these guys come knocking on your door. You can go. But
Well,
you will get an alert.
Yes, but that's
84, 85.
it's also expensive and
I got the number.
okay.
Hey. I'm okay. Hi, you guys. My name is Kanani. This is my hometown. I'm very appreciative to the Rita and Souza Ohanas and everyone else who helped. I want you guys to realize that anyone who's been in our community knows that it's our community that has always taken care of these areas. Before it was, Uncle Jimmy Owai, it was Jacob Ing, it was Mr. Anana. They were the ones that were digging these waterways to make sure that everything flowed properly around our private residences. And I want to make sure that you guys are all aware of this because we are looking at the city for answers. But previously, Dole and Wailua Sugar Plantation had waterways that were 30 to 50 feet wide that they maintained and they made sure kept everybody downstream safe. By coming here tonight and us all demanding that there are new flood maps drawn and that we aren't asking for them to actually fix things that were actually there. You guys are going to ask to put the burden of this on the people that are downstream. The issue is clearing the actual rivers and waterways, maintaining them, which may need to fall on the city at this point because there are no big companies that are invested in this community anymore. I'd like to see that as an answer. And I think there's community members that are willing to step in. But beyond that, I think DPP needs to do a better job of looking at what sales are happening, what buildings and structures are going up that change the actual routes that were utilized so that when we had rains like this, which when I was a little girl, I would go outside and play in them.
Yeah.
When I heard it, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to flood. You know why? Because I had this false sense of security because I grew up in a town that was maintained by the people in that town. We need those 30 to 50-foot waterways. If you go to the west side right now and they're developing, and you can look into this, they are cutting 40 to 60-foot waterways, 2 to 3 of them to develop the same area against this mountain. And there's a lot of misinformation, which is causing us to be upset, angry, and have anxiety over a dam that didn't fail. It wasn't the dam. It was the mountain. It was the fire. It was the landslide. And it was the mismanagement of actually making sure people are taking care of the land when they parcel it out. When you guys buy a parcel in this area, don't just think about you.
Thank you.
Don't look at it and go, you know what? I'm up
Hanani?
here on this mountain. I want to build and I'm going to fill it in. Think about your neighbors. And you guys, because it's
Kanani.
parceled out, have to maintain that for them because they don't have that information, but you do.
Thank you. All right. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for coming tonight. I'm going to ask Mr. Mayor. Thank you, sir. And I want a big hand. He took his lumps tonight. He took them. He took his cracks. Let's give him applause. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, just in closing, I speak on behalf of the whole team. I tell you, just listening to everything tonight, we're humbled by the love and respect you have for each other, the love and respect for the place that you live, and the fact that you take such good care of each other. We came here to listen and learn as part of the experience. I want to say what Major Ramsden said earlier. It's about going forward. I can't do anything about last week. Okay, I am sorry that you've experienced what Scott said, what you've all experienced, but we're here to help. We offered that, and we're full of resources, and you can hold us accountable in the days ahead. God bless you all. Thank you.
Well,